Hello and welcome to the old Fliers. In a recent video, I explored the wonderful world of aircraft with asymmetrical features. I thought the odd-looking BV-141, a World War II single-engined reconnaissance aircraft, was worthy of research. The company Blohm + Voss needed BMW 801 radial engines, but these were denied to them as the Focke-Wulf FW190 fighters had priority. Germany needed fighters above all else. I'm indebted to Graham Rogers of Imperial War Museums for the inspiration for the story. And what a fighter the Focke-Wulf 190 was. One of the deadliest fighters of those times. 190s had been developed to complement the sleek, mass-produced Messerschmitt 109s with the Daimler-Benz engines. About 30,000 of those were built. The three highest scoring German aces of all time flew the 109. The fourth and fifth flew the 190. It was designer and test pilot Kurt Tank who designed the 190. Kurt Tank's design of the 190 was very different to that of Willy Messerschmitt's 109. The 109 was sleek and aerodynamic. The 190 is hunched like a pit bull dog. The 190 was very strong with tapered wing edges and could roll very fast. Some 20,000 of those were built. The performance was electrifying. The 190's radial engine meant the aircraft had a large frontal area, so was not as aerodynamic as a 109. The cooling of the 190's huge 1800 horsepower engine was a problem. This was eventually ironed out in 1942. The 190 was rugged and has a wide track undercarriage. The torque of the powerful engine had to be taken into account when landing. When the 190 became successful, aces Otto Keitel, who had 267 kills, and Walter Nowotny, 258, transferred to the 190. The Allies would have loved to get their hands on a 190 and even considered conducting a commando raid on a French airfield and capturing one. They didn't have to.
He hadn't got many hours in a Focke-Wulf, and he wasn't the most experienced Focke-Wulf pilot. He landed at an airfield that happened to be in southern Wales. The Focke-Wulf was gestured by some RAF groundman into a pen. A quick-thinking sergeant got hold of his very pistol, jumped onto his wing, pointed it at the pilot's head, and then he realised what had happened. He was taken captive, and Faber actually tried unsuccessfully to commit suicide. Now we had a Focke-Wulf in captivity. It had to be tested and evaluated through hours and hours of painstaking testing. The impact of having a Focke-Wulf in captivity can be seen in later years on the development of the Hawker Tempest and the Hawker Sea Fury.
Armin Faber mistakenly landed his 190 on RAF Pembrey in Wales on the 23rd of June 1942 after becoming disorientated. He mistook the Bristol Channel for the English Channel. That aircraft was extensively tested against the new Spitfire Mark 9, so the Allied pilots could develop tactics to overcome the 190s. The 190 first entered service in late 1941. The English ace, Johnny Johnson, first encounter with one left him stunned. He got back to England and reported how these new aircraft had the Spitfires for breakfast. The intelligence officer declared the Germans had got hold of French P-36s and modified them. Here is Johnny Johnson.
I had seen one in late 1941 and I'd reported it as a new type of aircraft with square wingtips and a radial engine, and I even drew a sketch of it, and somebody at the Air Ministry came back and told us that it was some French airplanes which the Germans had refurbished. So the Focke-Wulf 190 took our intelligence services completely by surprise.
These 190s were up against the Spitfire Mark V when first introduced. The 190s could outclimb, outdive and outroll the Spitfires though the Spitfires could outturn them. Clipping the ends off the Spitfire wings, as well as clipping the supercharger fans, did help. Testing of the Pembrey 190 influenced the design of the Hawker Tempest and the Hawker Sea Fury. All of the high-scoring German pilots were those fighting on the target-rich Eastern Front. These pilots had to be fitter than modern Formula One drivers in order to cope with high G levels. The 190 could take 7 to 8 positive G. With the Allies gaining superiority towards the end of the war, German pilots changed tactics, confronting bombers head-on. Captain Erich Winkelbraun stated that the FW-190D model was in his top 20 airplanes based on its performance. Here he is speaking of this.
Germans, of course, could match us. They had 3 brilliant airplanes on their side. They had the Focke-Wulf 190 and, of course, the outstanding aircraft of World War II, the Messerschmitt 262.
Now, the Focke-Wulf 190 was a delightful airplane in every sense of the word. It barely had a fault. It had a fairly vigorous stall, but apart from that, it was almost as perfect as the Spitfire.
I'm a bit surprised that in the 3 German aircraft you name as outstanding, you don't mention the 109.
No, I don't. I think the 109 succeeded because, in spite of itself, it was not a nice airplane, particularly nice airplane to fly. Many Germans will tell you it was, but of course, if you fly an airplane long enough, you begin to know its thing and you accept it. But you have to realize, as a test pilot, I was able to compare it with a vast range of aircraft, and I certainly did not ever think it was a great airplane. And altogether, it had, as I said, was not the same class as the Focke-Wulf 190.
What was so good about the 190?
Well, the 190 was a beautiful aircraft to handle, magnificent to fly and maneuver. It was very fast for a piston-engined aircraft, and it had nice characteristics even to fly in bad weather.
Towards the end of World War II, the Messerschmitt 252 jet's appearance shocked everyone. It was years ahead of anything the Allies had. It just came too late in the war to help Germany. Thank you for watching. Liking and subscribing promotes new content.